Yo guys, welcome back to a brand new episode of my F1 2019 career mode here today, and we are here for the third from last race of the season for the US Grand Prix at the Circuit of the Americas. If you guys missed the last episode at Mexico in the race where we actually took an engine penalty, a complete brand new engine and started from the back of the grid, then go watch the race guys by clicking the link in the top right hand corner of the screen. It was a very entertaining race and lots of overtakes and fighting back through the field. But guys, we're here at USA, and you see on the screen we have no rain forecast this weekend, which is fantastic. We also don't have any upgrades on the car, and the reason for that is because we are saving points. You can see in the top right-hand corner of the screen, we've got nearly 6,000 points saved up for the R&D regulation change next season, which affects the aerodynamics department. And we're going to purchase all of those upgrades to protect that part of the car in the next race at Brazil. Other than that, no major change really in the R&D graph, just the field getting very close now. And, the grid is so competitive. And, one mistake in qualifying can ultimately prove to be the difference. But overall, a small apology here. I forgot to take a screenshot of the actual practice results, like the actual programs we did, but I can tell you we actually scored purple in everything and got 325 out of 325 possible points, so a flawless session, and the car was working great around here. This is the best the car's ever felt, the most comfortable I've ever felt around this circuit, period, ever. I've never done particularly well Austin, but this time it's working out quite nicely for us. And this weekend we are using 108% AI once again, so just up the last three races. We're kind of continuing that trend. Also last season I did 108 around here, and that's kind of like where the AI are at for me around here in terms of the difficulty level. It's very close between me and Gasly all weekend long, and looks like we're going to be in for quite a decent fight. But overall, just going back to before, we are going to spend all those R&D points in the next episode at Brazil at the end of the episode, and then basically we're going to invest all that in protecting the aerodynamics, and then after Abu Dhabi, when we get the end of the season bonus, we'll invest that in upgrades to push the car forward into Season 3. So hopefully that makes sense as we now jump into qualifying here at Austin, Texas. And we're going to kick things off in Q1, and we're going to go out for a couple of runs in this one. And my best lap was my first run, so we will ride on board for a full lap of the Circuit of the Americas here to see how we get on in this one. And hopefully it's a decent lap to get us out of the first part of qualifying. So here we go, straight away kicking off the lap then, and it's important to get a good exit out the final corner as we make our way along the pit straight and up towards the very uphill turn one. Braking as the black box on the right hand side appears as your reference. Down to first, if you need to, I use second, and then quickly back up the third on a short shift to get the power down and get some traction out of one, through two, flat out, and now into the S's for 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. All about car setup here, having that confidence to just let the car roll through and throw it in and have a back end that's planted, as we currently match the first sector there set by Max Verstappen as we now go into this sort of right left off cambered uphill chicane, very awkward corner or combination of corners as we now go down the hill through the little kink and down towards the hairpin. Looking at the 50-meter board, it's a reference brake just before that, and down to first gear if we need to get some rotation. I keep it in second through here, and then quickly in the power using the short shift method again, get into fourth gear nice and early, and then open up DRS and use some overtake mode on this back straight as you now look for the 50-meter board as you reference into the heavy brake zone after the long back straight here. And important to really attack the inside curb here to maximise lap time as we get the power quickly and make our way towards a combination of rights and lefts here, the very kind of Mickey Mouse section of the lap. Currently half a second down on Verstappen as we go towards sector 3. Down a couple of gears here for this double left, a little bit wide there, missing my apex slightly and getting carried out and dragged out by the curb on the entry, but overall still a relatively decent lap as we go flat out through the triple rights, and now prepare yourself for this blind left-hander over the hill, over the bump, and we hit the apex absolutely beautifully. And one more corner to go here, just feed the car through, don't overdo it. You've had a good lap until this point, don't throw it away, open up DRS and across the line, and we go P10, 7 tenths off of Verstappen's time, which was slower than practice. I had a lot more pace in practice, but that lap was good enough to get us through into Q2. Half a second off Pierre Gasly's time there, who's currently sitting at 29.8, so it seems like we need to get into the 29s to have any form of competitive pace around here, and I think we can do that. Practice was, I think we did a 30.1 or 30.0, so there is more pace in the car. That lap wasn't the best lap in Q1, it was more just a lap to get through comfortably into Q2, but now we're going to start to get the hammer down here, and this was my first run in Q2, fresh rubber once again for this one, because these are going to be the tyres that we start the race on potentially. So through the final corner here, Hamilton set the pace with a 29.5, and we cross the line and we do set a 30.0, and that is a better time as we're half a second off the top of the table, and we're fractionally and marginally quicker than Gasly, who's actually set a 30.1, considering he'd done a 29.8 in the last session. Gasly's struggling for pace there, but you can see we are P6, but not by much, and only 2 tenths safe. So I went out again in P6 as a precaution with 2 minutes to go here. I'm going to try and set a lap and see if I can improve, because I know there's some more time to find, and also if I find a 10th or 2, it could prove to be absolutely crucial to get into Q3, because I think into the 29s is going to be the safe zone. I think a 30-0 you're kind of on the limit and on the bubble, so we're going to go again here, and we're going to run forward for this entire lap one more time as we go straight away through 1 and 2 into now the S section. And so far so good, a little bit down on my previous best, but we find a little bit of time through this long right and feed the car into the left, and suddenly we're drawing level with our previous best lap time as we now go up the hill here. A little bit of time to find here, I think, as we got the power nice and early, and we're now up on our delta as we look for the break point into the hairpin once again, just before the 50-meter board as your reference, and down to second gear, possibly first again if you need to. We get a fantastic bit of traction, and we find nearly a 10th of a second there, really, really good stuff. But we turn it into overtake a little bit late, and that cost me a little bit of time on the delta, but we are still up. But we are still up by a fraction, so we go down towards the heavy brake zone now, braking the 50-meter board, really braking late this time. A little bit of a lock-up, but we managed to make the apex and find a bit more lap time, and we're a 10th and a half up as we go into the double rights now, and into the very tricky Mickey Mouse section where the AI are quite quick, and I tend to struggle. But so far, we're only a 10th off of Lewis's lap time here, so this is a good lap for us so far. As we continue on here, we're now nearly 3 tenths up at one point there, now 2 tenths up as we go through the triple rights again. We've got the advantage, it's all about not throwing it away now, so nice and easy through the left, don't overdo it.
30 seconds left in the session.
Keep it nice and tidy, and then one more corner to go as we got the power smoothly there and keep our 2/10 of a second advantage across the line, and we improve the P5, 2.5 tenths off the top, and that lap will see us comfortably through. And it's a good thing we went out again, because a 1:30.0 would have left us out of Q2, or Q3 should I say, in probably P11. So it was a good thing we went out again, because that previous lap wouldn't have been good enough as Pierre Gasly improves to a 29.7, and once again that qualifies us for the second session in a row here in both Q1 and Q2, and the 2x2 with Ferrari, Mercedes, Red Bull and Williams in the top 8. But we now move into Q3. This first one was with used rubber. These were the tyres I used in my first run of Q2, because they were not that worn, so they were still quite competitive, and the lap in itself was really good. There's, at this point you're taking all the risks you need, because you're in Q3 and you're leaving no time on the table. We set at 29.7 on used rubber. That's my best lap of the weekend on used tyres, so very encouraging signs there. And we're going to go again on a fresh set of rubber here. I'm going to be the last car across the line. 20 seconds to go. Let's see what we can do with this fresh set of tyres, and let's see if we can find some more lap time here, because I think there's a little bit more time to find with track progression. So here we go, in towards turn 1, easy again on the entry, really focus on your exit to get the power down. We find a 10th and a half through turn 1 alone, really, really good first corner. Flat out through 2, and then into turn 3, then 4, and then turn 5, and then 6, that tightens up into 7. Very good start so far, and 2.5 tenths up here through sector 1, really strong lap, and a purple first sector, which was my strong point all weekend. Up through the hill, through the little chicane, and now down the hill, through the kink, flat out, 2.5 tenths up as you look for the brake zone into the hairpin just before the 50-meter board. A little bit cautious on the brakes, but we still somehow lock up, and luckily for us we do get a good exit and a nice bit of traction, which is going to make up for the delta time, and we keep our 2.5 tenth improvement advantage on the back straight, and pretty much halfway through the lap at this point as you look for the brake point, the 50-meter board as your reference into the heavy brake zone here, and you want to try and push as low as you can on the brakes, nice and tidy there, clipping the inside apex and quickly on the power. And now brake once again into the double rights. Then we're still half a tenth up here, so it's looking good at the moment. But then Hamilton sets at 29.2, really laying down the gauntlet there and putting a lap time down. A really strong lap there from Lewis Hamilton, the new world champion. And now through the triple rights again here, 3.5 tenths up, really strong lap from us so far. Really, really good stuff. No mistakes so far as we go into the penultimate corner, throwing the car in. A little bit of a slide mid-corner, which lost us a little bit of time, unfortunately for us. And then the final corner here, really bringing it down to the apex and quickly on the power again as we open up DRS across the line, and we improved by pretty much 4 tenths of a second, and we actually get third place in qualifying. A really good lap, a 1:29.3. No idea where that lap came from. That was one of my special laps that came out of the bag right at the very end, and I didn't have that pace all weekend. I don't know where that came from, but we out-qualified Gasly by 3 tenths, and yeah, overall ecstatic with that one. A really strong lap, and I think it could have been better. I think, I don't think we got second or first, but it could have been a little bit better because the penultimate corner was a bit of a slide and we lost about half a tenth. But other than that, it was a really good qualifying. We maximised it completely, and Hamilton and Verstappen on the front row, and we're actually on the second row alongside Sebastian Vettel, and that I believe is my best ever qualifying, or second best ever qualifying in the Williams. So overall, a decent Saturday, but we're now going to move into the Sunday for the race for the USGP.
In 2012, America's on-again, off-again love affair with Formula One finally seemed to settle down with the completion of this wonderful racing facility here in Texas. Since then, we've been treated to some incredible races, including, of course, that classic wet-dry championship decider of 2015. It's the Circuit of the Americas then, situated 14 miles outside the great city of Austin. This is the 3.6-mile lap with 20 corners, 10 each to the left and to the right, and top speeds of around 200 miles per hour. Overtaking opportunities are available into turns 1 and 12, especially with that rear wing DRS wide open. And it's an absolute pleasure to be joined once again by Anthony Davidson. Now, I want to ask you about Lewis Hamilton. They've had a fantastic campaign. It's been a wonderful year, and they come into this weekend's Grand Prix as a fully deserving champion.
It really is well deserved. I wouldn't say it's been a faultless title challenge, but certainly one that has been consistent and well managed. Here's hoping they let off a bit of steam today and give us an exciting race.
It's time to take a look at our starting grid for today's race. Martinez lines up on pole position, with Sebastian Vettel starting alongside. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Leclerc, Russell, Valtteri Bottas and Verstappen, Gasly, Perez, Raikkonen and Lewis Hamilton. They'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty. Magnussen, Ricciardo, Alexander Albon and Kvyat, Sainz, Norris, Antonio Giovinazzi and Nico Hülkenberg, Grosjean and Lance Stroll brings the grid to a close. And with preparations almost complete, let's head down to the track.
Right, so here we are then on the grid for the USGP, and we start from pole position. After penalties applied to the drivers in front of me after qualifying, we start from P1 for the first time, I want to say ever. I don't think we've started from pole ever in this career mode. It's not an actual legitimate pole because we qualified third, so that is yet to arrive, if you will. But we are starting the race from P1, and that is fantastic. We can really control the race and make it our own, which I'm looking forward to. The race pace looked good on Friday, and I'm encouraged by what I see. And also, we're gonna adapt our strategy accordingly. So we're gonna have to start the race on the soft tires. And again, my concern with these, like any other race, really is tire overheating. Especially this track is quite a long track. There's a lot of corners, therefore it could be an issue. So starting at the front is good because we can push on and try and pull away at the start and then hopefully manage the tyres a little bit. That's what I want to try and do. The game recommends me to go on to the hard tyres at my pit stop, but I reckon I could stretch it to a medium. I think that's possible, similar to the last race. So I'm going to try and aim for that. In terms of fuel, we are running the lowest possible fuel, and we're still 0.5 over. So overall, it's the best scenario it could possibly be, and we're going to be trying to be nice and aggressive. No rain expected in the race, so again, relatively straightforward, and I'm hoping this is a straightforward race, and if we can pick up the win here today, I'll be absolutely ecstatic, and I'll be so happy, because this is not a track I expected to be strong at. Same as the last race in Mexico, I didn't expect to be strong there, and we went from 20th to 4th, so overall I'm looking forward to it, and hopefully it's a decent race, and fingers crossed we can pick up another win in this season. But guys, that's enough for the intro. Let's jump into it, and let's see if we get on in the race. It's time for round number 19 for the US Grand Prix. Right, here we go then. Let's get ready for the 5 red lights here at the Circuit of the Americas. Lights out, and away we go. Good start. We're going to hold the lead quite nicely, actually. Into turn 1, a bit of a lock up there, but we're going to defend the inside line. And we keep Sebastian Vettel behind us as George Russell moves up into 3rd place. But good start from us off the line, getting good traction and dropping the clutch quite nicely. It's a long race, this one, 28 laps. It feels like an eternity. It feels like the second longest race after Singapore. So a lot of laps, a lot of corners. It's a long race, but it's a good start from us. Hopefully we can control things out front on the soft tyre. Like I said, overheating is my only concern with these, so I've got to try and be careful. If I can push and establish an early pace and try and pull away, that'd be fantastic. So far I've not used my engine mode, so I get to use it all on the back straight, which is kind of a tactic I like around here. And that should keep me in front. Sebastian is lurking in the distance in the Ferrari, trying to pick up the slipstream, but we've got too much straight line speed for him to get anywhere near, especially with that DRS. So far it's a good start. And no dramas. I think we'll have Sebastian for close company for a little while until the AI turn their engine down around halfway through lap 2. Normally that's when it happens. They run it in high lap mode for the first lap and a half or so of the race. So we're going to have to just weather the storm for now and try and stay in front. Tactically deploy my own ERS and my fuel. So far doing a good job of it. As lap 1 draws to a close. A little bit of understeer there. The heavy fuel load kicking in a little bit. So far so good. We move on to lap 2. Let's get head down and try and open up a gap now to Sebastian Vettel.
Race officials have enabled DRS. DRS is now available.
Yep, DRS is now enabled. And we haven't pulled out a 1 second gap to Sebastian, so we've got our work cut out. Need to keep pushing. I think I can drop him once we get out of DRS range. I think Sebastian might have a run on me here. He's a little bit closer. He's gaining. We're going to cover the inside. Show him the long way around. My front's overheating a bit, I think. I've got a bit of understeer. Just really struggling to get the car turned into every corner. We'll confirm it now when I get a chance, but it does feel like I'm struggling with my fronts. Let's have a look. Okay, no, they're actually okay for now. Definitely felt like it through the S's though, that's for certain. I've got a little bit of a gap to Sebastian this lap. Managed to get my tyres under control a little bit more with the temperatures, and he's nowhere near as close. I think if I can drop him out of DRS, I think I could stay out of the 1 second window. Which is the fact DRS is keeping him in the race.
A new strategy is available on the MFD. Understood, copy that.
Here comes Seb, around the outside again, from really far back. That Ferrari's got serious straight line speed, as we all know. But we're not really phased by it. We defend again, same move as last lap. I'm on the limit now, I'm really struggling here. Soft tyre just isn't performing up to scratch. My front right, you can see, is absolutely fried. Here comes Sebastian again. We're going to defend the inside. Got to be careful not to offload the front right and lock up with it, because it's very risky. But that train is definitely not moving anytime soon, and it's all because of us, just struggling for pace here at the minute. After the S's, my front tyres are cooking. Both of them, look at that. 105. Just got to try and get the grid exit here every single lap. And keep Sebastian Vettel at bay. That's a good exit from us. This time he seems to be running a little bit less of an engine mode. Although he seems to have turned it back up now for the straight. So again, he's using his ERS tactically. We're not going to come under fire though into the brakes zone, I don't think. So we can keep our racing line. Here comes Seb again. A lot of momentum this time. He's got a lot of speed. We're going to go down the inside again and try and hold the line. Sebastian trying to go around the outside, but there's no way past there. And we keep him behind for another lap. We can keep doing that, but I'm hating these tyres at the minute. It doesn't feel that bad, it's just I don't have any pace. So it's kind of frustrating. I can't really push or pull away. I'm just kind of stationary and I can't really go anywhere. I know I'm going backwards, not forwards. Oh, and I think Leclerc dives in. There you go. Early stop onto the hard tyres probably. So a possible undercut there from Charles Leclerc. Interesting. I'm going to commit to this medium tyre. I'm going to give it a go. Now Sebastian Vettel pits. Presumably for the hard tyre as well.
We're approaching the pit window. You'll be on the mediums.
Only the Ferrari's pitting in though, so we're going to commit to this medium tyre. Hopefully it pays off.
Pierre is in the pits.
Okay, Big Gazzy comes in. We've got 2 more laps to go. This one and one more. And Charles Leclerc sets the pace 34.0. That's very quick. Now Verstappen pits. 1 more lap on these, come on.
In this lap, push now.
Right, I'm just trying to nurse the car now. Through these last few corners. I'm going to get undercut by both Ferraris and Verstappen, but it is where it is. I just don't quite have the pace, and the hard tyre would have just been more of a struggle. Hopefully the medium might give me a chance to get back in the race. If the medium doesn't overheat, it'll be a good call, and it'll be worth it. As we pit in, now we need a good stop from the boys. Both Ferraris will go by. It's going to be close with Verstappen, I think. It'll be close with Verstappen, so we'll see. We need a good stop though, first of all, from all the boys, so come on, get to work, here we go.
Go, go, go. You'll be racing on the exit. Go, go now.
Here comes Max, it's going to be close.
That was our last stop. No more scheduled pit stops.
There's Max, he's just got around the outside and got us. Lewis behind, but at least we're on the freshest tyres out of everybody. Fresh mediums as well. Let's try and stick with Verstappen here. Not the best hairpin, we're a little bit scruffy there as we lock up. But we are going to have DRS on Verstappen. I'm curious to see what tyre the Ferraris are on. If they're on the hard tyres, then fair enough. Surprising that they're very quick on that tyre. Or, option B, they could be 2-stopping, but I need to see what tyre they want to confirm it. For now though, we're just going to run behind Verstappen for a little bit here, try and save a bit of fuel in the RS. Once it's up of the race, 33.4. Only just quicker than the Ferrari. Sebastian did a 33.4 as well. quite convinced in the pace in this tyre at the minute. And also my pace isn't there overall in race pace. It seems like we're struggling a little bit more for race pace compared to one lap pace, which is quite rare for me. Normally I'm better, you know, on Sunday. So I've got to try and time this and manage this overtake correctly, because I'm going to struggle to shake off Verstappen, I think, if I do pass him. Okay, we're very close to Verstappen now. I'm going to try and make an overtake. I've got enough fuel in the RS saved up that I'm comfortable as we pick up our first corner cut there. The Ferrari's getting close to start battling now as well, so it's a good time to pass Verstappen in my opinion. So here we go, let's get the exit. Turn the engine up and it should be a fairly straightforward pass on the Red Bull. We're gaining here. We're going to keep to the racing line. Verstappen defends, but it's pointless. And there we go, into third place. And the Ferraris, my suspicions are confirmed. They're on soft, so at least Sebastian Vettel is. So could they both be on the two-stopper? If so, we've just retaken the net race lead. So let's see if we can try and pull away from Verstappen now. So let's see if we have the pace. Leclerc pits, so there you go, both Ferraris on soft tyres, so Sebastian will be on the next lap.
We advise moving to mix 2, fuel to mix 2.
So we retake second place, and it'll be first place on the next lap. So let's see if we can try and shake off Verstappen. It's going to be tricky, but as long as I just drop him out of the RS, I think I'll be okay. These tyres won't overheat as much as the soft, so let's give it some. There we go, Sebastian Vettel pits. So we are going to inherit the race lead, Ferrari on a two-stop as I expected. We're also pulling away from Verstappen here. We are dropping him a little bit. Pace is good. Let's keep it going for one more lap. I can't shake off Verstappen. DRS is too powerful. He's nowhere near attacking me for an overtake, but I just can't get him out of the RS range. I've got as far as 9/10, but...
Right, some information on Hamilton. They have an issue with their car. They're going to be slow.
Okay, that's one down. Verstappen's going to get the run of me here, and I might just let him go, to be honest, and I might just save a bit of DRS and fuel and try and repass him later on, because at the minute I can't shake away, so I'm going to try and charge everything up in a big way, and hopefully the next time I do pass him it's definitive. Verstappen's going for this, he's pulling away, he's pushing hard, so we're having to respond a little bit by running in standard engine mode, but once his deployment and his excess battery and fuel runs out, he'll come back to me, so I've just got to hold on for now. Oh, yellow flag behind, I just saw a yellow flag. Could it be Hamilton? No, it's not, it's Perez. Wow, and the racing point. Out of the race. First retirement, as we're now firmly in the system with Verstappen. He's run out of positive engine mode, so now we're going to drag him into deep water, make him suffer a bit. So his lights are not coming on, therefore he's not charging energy, so he's stuck with what he's got at the minute. So let's make him suffer. Let's really charge up everything we have, fuel and battery, and we're going to drop him dead next time we pass him, hopefully. Verstappen's pushing again here. Also, my tyres are starting to fade. I'm struggling for grip. Gap is 8/10. He's making a breakaway. Not sure where he's getting this energy from by this pace, but he's going for it. I need to respond. He's dropped me out of the RS. I haven't got the RS in the pit straight. I've got to respond. I've got to turn the engine up now. I've got to go before it's too late. Okay, we're back in, but still a long way away from him. He's really going for this, Verstappen. He's found some pace from nowhere. I set a purple for a sector, but it's not really got me any closer. This time though, we're gaining on the straight, and there we go. We're recovering the gap a little bit. I might as well continue to push this lap and solidify my fastest lap of the race. Although we've lost a bit of ground in sector 2. The rear tyres are just struggling on the braking for some reason. I keep losing the rear, which is costing me time. Okay, I want to go for the move here. I want to get my position back before it gets too late, because the AI tend to pick up the pace in the last couple of laps, trying to chase the fast lap of the race. So we are going to go for the re-overtake here. Trying to use too much of my storage, so I can use that to pull away. But there we go, back into first place. Let's try and stay there now. And there you go, my fast lap is gone. Sebastian Vettel, 33.4 in the Ferrari on the fresher mediums, of course. But that's not important. I want 25 points. Right then, on to the last lap of the race. Here we go. One last push. I think we're okay though. Verstappen's not really close enough. I've got enough in the reserves as well. Okay, Max is close. He has gained a little bit on this lap. He has pushed a bit. He's gaining on us. We are going to have to defend the inside. Max around the outside one last time. And we just hold on. There we go. That should do it, I think. No mistakes now. Nice and easy to the finish line. Come on. I can smell another win here. I believe our third win of the season. Let's bring it home. It's been a good race. We've controlled the issues we've had, especially in the first stint. The one-stopper was the way to go. And the stretch into the mediums was also the right move as we go through the front a couple of corners. And there we go then. That should do it. Checker flag is out as we go for the final corner. And we're going to pick up 25 points at the Circuit of the Americas. Get in. What a race.
Great drive. We did it. Good job.
Here they are then, coming into Parc Ferme, and an excellent win for the Williams team. Anthony Davidson, how do you think they were able to set themselves apart today?
Well, I honestly feel it was down to the driver and car today. I mean, we can talk driver skill all day, but if you don't have a solid team to back that, you're never going to get anywhere. When you hit that sweet spot of having both an excellent driver and an incredible car, that's when you see results like those we witnessed today.
Williams have put in an incredible performance out on the track today. I'm glad all the hard work of theirs has finally paid off.
What do you think made the difference between this weekend and last weekend? You're breaking all expectations. What's your secret? Great. Well, that's everything.
Right, so looking at the final race results, we defend from Max Verstappen and win the US Grand Prix here at Austin, Texas, and pick up 25 points, which is fantastic. Valtteri Bottas rounds up the podium with Verstappen in between us, and then George Russell P4, his best finish in Formula 1 so far in the Red Bull, ahead of Sebastian Vettel, who actually beat Charles Leclerc to P5 in the Ferrari battle, and also Sebastian Vettel picking up the first lap of the race with a 33.3. Then we've got Magnussen P7 in the first of the racing points, and the only racing point as Perez retired, and then Ricciardo P8, Pierre Gasly only 9th place after starting with P7. A bit of a disappointing race again from Gasly, but finally, I believe for the first time ever, only for the second time ever, our teammate scores points, and it's good to see that Gasly in his third race for the team has scored points already, which is fantastic, much better than what Kubica did. But yeah, overall, happy to see Gasly score some points as Raikkonen scores the final one from McLaren ahead of Sainz, Kvyat, Albon, Norris, Hülkenberg, Giovinazzi, Stroll, Hamilton and Grosjean, with Sergio Perez, the only retirement of the Grand Prix. Hamilton done in P18 after the car issues. A really miserable race for the British driver there. And in terms of what the race means for the standings, obviously Hamilton is confirmed as world champion, but we overtake Charles Leclerc for P5, and we are only 8 points behind Sebastian Vettel, so it's not over yet. We are breathing down his neck, and the battle for second is still on, from Verstappen all the way down to Charles Leclerc. I think it could be anyone, really, depending on the race results. We have 2 more races left. Realistically, it's going to be tricky for us to get second place now, 2 races left, but I want to at least get P4 and get Sebastian Vettel and overtake both Ferraris in the Drivers' Championship. In terms of the constructors, we are in 4th place, and the gap to Racing Point grows more than ever, and the gap is now nearly 100 points, but we're still a long way behind Red Bull, so it's going to be 4th place for us this season in the constructors, which is good. But guys, that's going to be it for this episode of Career Mode. In the next episode of Brazil, we will use all of our pretty much 7,000 R&D points on protecting the upgrades for next season, and potentially some more improvements to the car going into the end of the season. But guys, that's going to be it for this episode of Career Mode here today. And if you guys enjoyed it, drop a like on the video. I'd greatly appreciate it for that win. And also subscribe if you want for daily Formula 1 content. And also turn on notifications to not miss any videos from me. And finally, check out these 2 videos on your screen if you have missed them. But other than that, guys, thank you for watching this episode of Career Mode. And I'll see you in my next episode very soon. But until then, it's goodbye from me.